you, this is not a video about dieting. I'm not about to tell you what to eat, what diet you should be following, or what diet helped me lose 70 pounds. What I am going to tell you is how you can take control of the food that you are eating and be a little bit more intentional about that. Personally, what I've been doing is paying attention to the preservatives in my food. I try to stick to whole foods with real, actual ingredients instead of unpronounceable, is that how you say it? Unpronounceable chemicals. And with that comes organic foods, because I also don't want to ingest a bunch of pesticides. They're not made to be inside your body. They're made to keep bugs away. I'm in the business of nourishing my body so that it can operate optimally and not have to work harder than it needs to. So that when a sickness comes or diseases or whatever, my body can do what it's meant to do. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you what to eat or what diet you should be following, but that's just what I'm looking at, because logically it makes sense. Feed your body with the food that was put on this earth for humans that were put on this earth so that it can operate how it's supposed to. Makes sense, right? Anyway, not going on a rant about that. Moving on. If that sounds like you, welcome. If that doesn't sound like you, listen out for tips on how to eat better according to your standards. So, without further ado, here we go. The first thing I would say to do is research. Do all the research you possibly can on what foods would be best for your body. And for some people, that might start at the doctor's office. Get your levels checked, find out what vitamins and minerals are deficient in your body, and figure out what foods you can eat to increase those naturally in your body instead of taking a vitamin, because that's fake and it's processed. The best way to get a vitamin or mineral is to eat it, ingest it with whole foods. But again, do your research, what foods actually fuel your body. But with that comes listening to your body. What foods make you feel bad after you eat them? Maybe you can try and start cutting that out of your diet and see how you feel after that. What foods help you feel energized and ready to go? Things like that. That's also research, but research that you're conducting on your own body. The research that I did was mainly surrounding meat and really how it's processed to be packaged and sold, but also I did do a little bit on how it reacts with your body. So meat, dairy, I did a little bit of research on chemicals and whole foods and how they affect your body. Moral of the story is do your own research. Second thing is eat more meals from home. Decide how many meals a week that you want to cook and eat, and make a grocery list and stick to that. That's probably one of the best things that my mom has ever taught me, was to decide what meals you're going to eat through the week, make your grocery list based off of that, and eat those meals. But you have to stick to it. Eating the meals that you make at home is going to help you stick to your plan. If you have the meals right in front of you, you're less likely to go out looking for stuff to eat, which heightens the chance of you eating something you weren't supposed to eat. You can pick from your at-home and the fridge meals. When you're out, there are way too many chances of you slipping. Third tip, which I think is one of the most helpful, is to follow a creator that also follows your way of eating. That's going to help you come up with meal ideas throughout the week that you can follow, and things that you know will actually taste good. And honestly, it makes it so much easier. Some of the creators I follow are Shakayla Felice on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. She does mostly plant-based. Tapped in Wellness, I only follow them on TikTok. Plant You, also TikTok. Plant-based RD, TikTok and Instagram. Alethea Todaro, I don't know if I said that right, but TikTok. And then the two that I follow more for like indulgent things is Kimmy's Creations, which you should know about her. That's the lady that says, "Aight, bye," at the end of all her videos. And I don't think I'm going to say this right, Moribian. They have some really, really good foods, but they're more for like when you want to splurge, in my opinion. The last tip is to cook meals that you know that you love already and just replace the ingredients that you're trying to stay away from. So for me, it's meat. If I want to make a pasta that typically is made with chicken, I'll replace the chicken with either chickpeas, maybe sometimes black beans, but not so much. You can do cauliflower, you can do mushrooms. There's so many different things you can use to replace those meats. that makes it so easy. For instance, if you're doing a low carb meal, you can replace rice with cauliflower rice. Or they even have low carb rices out there now. Or if you're trying to do a higher protein diet, instead of using mayonnaise in your recipes, you can use Greek yogurt, which ups the protein a little bit and has a similar flavor. But also, treat yourself, because if you deprive yourself of the things you love, you're going to regret it. You should be able to enjoy the food you're eating while still eating in line with your goals. So instead of completely doing cauliflower rice, maybe you can do half of regular rice and half cauliflower rice. So you're still getting the taste, but not all the carbs that you don't want. Hopefully this helps someone to start being mindful and intentional about the things we put in our bodies. Not for superficial reasons though, or because you want to change the way you look, but because that's the ultimate form of self-love. And if you've watched my past videos, you know I had to bring it back to self-love somehow. And if you haven't, take your cute little self back there and watch those videos too.